So we'll now push on to our second company presentation. The second company presenting is AET, and our presenter is Captain Rajalingam Subramaniam. Now, Captain Raja is a true shipping man. He began his career at sea. He came ashore in '96. He's held various positions in the MIC group, and currently he is president and CEO of AET and based in Singapore. Now, AET is the petroleum unit of MISC, operates over 80 vessels, I believe, Captain Raja. And if you look through the website of AET, you clearly get an indication of the world-class company that it is. I mean, you consistently see mention of investing in our safety culture, of modern, environmentally friendly fleet, pioneering LNG dual fuel Aframax and DP shuttle tankers, and lots more. It's a world-class company. It's based in Singapore. Very happy to have Captain Raja telling us more about it. Captain Raja, please.
Thank you, Kevin, for the kind introduction. And good evening from Asia. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to everyone who's joining in virtually, right? And first and foremost, our thoughts and prayers to everyone who's been directly or indirectly affected due to the pandemic globally. And we wish that the world returns to as near as normal as possible in the soonest time possible. I want to thank Marine Money for the opportunity given to MIC and AET to share some of our progress. And we've chosen the topic sustainability focus at the heart of the global reset for sharing today. Could I have the next slide, please? Now, sustainability actually is a journey that even for the maritime industry has started in the second half of last decade. And it's been further accelerated because of the double black swan, the pandemic, and the global oil crash. And something which was more known to the investment community, and it's been accelerated during this period. And we in MIC, a group of companies, including AET, has been moving our sustainability journey in a manner which was consistent with what we had to do. And shipping industry by and large is largely maritime in terms of stakeholders. And when you look at that, HSC has been the license to operate, and as like Kevin mentioned just now, there is no ifs, buts, or maybe in terms of the HSC excellence that we must conform to in order to provide the best of services to our clients in the most energy efficient and safe manner. And there is no let up as far as that is concerned. And I know as an industry, we have been doing this very well, progressively, and we continue to do this progressively. Now, what has happened is that, and further accelerated because of the double black swan, is that the HSC license to operate as a maritime industry has moved to a social license to operate in terms of the environment, social, and governance factors of the sustainability journey. So we are transforming from an HSC compliant manner to one which is broader in terms of sustainability journey to the ESG, and we need to do more than just complying to the IMO legislation. This is what we have experienced, and our team have experienced, and this is what we have done, and this is what we would like to share as far as our transformation from an HSC to the ESG. Now, the E component of both of this is common. Now, the E component of a maritime compliance is more the MARPOL compliance legislation, whereas the E component of the ESG transforms and broadens to the ICCP and the Paris Agreement agendas, and which we commonly know as IMO, the 2030 and the 2050 agenda, which is net carbon neutral, net carbon zero, etc. But ESG is beyond only environment. It's also the social and the governance factors. In governance, it's beyond compliance, right? And you create the ecosystem of going beyond compliance to having an ecosystem where governance provides that ethics and integrity as an organization and as an industry for us to broaden that factor. Social, unfortunately, because of this pandemic, social inequalities will deepen. All right, and this is where there's an opportunity for us to do better on the social agenda of the ESG. Next one, please. Now, who are we? AET is a member of the MIC group, and MIC group is a listed entity in the Malaysian Stock Exchange. And our staff members, we've got more than 10,000 staff across 40 over nationalities globally: South America, North America, Europe, Indian subcontinent, and Asia. And I'm responsible for the petroleum part of the MIC Group's business under the AET brand name, as Kevin has mentioned just now. Our team size is about at sea about 3,000 staff, and ashore about 250 staff. And we provide our services in the most responsible and eco-efficient manner to our clients, which is what we take a lot of pride in. Gender equality, diversity and inclusivity, these are all the other primary agendas which I will share later, which we are proud as well. All right. Can I have the next slide, please? Now, going into the ESG agenda, and why the ESG agenda is something of a transformation for us from the second half of last decade, and what we have done as an MIC group and as AET, right? We've taken a very focused approach in terms of the environmental agenda, and whilst the world was, the maritime industry was looking at sulfur compliance of 2020, we moved ahead, and together, coincidentally, Softcomflot is the first speaker, and together, it's Softcomflot and us in the tanker industry who ventured into LNG as a dual fuel on our tankers back in 2016, 2017, and we continue to invest in this more cleaner source of propulsion, right? In LNG across of Aframax, VLCC, and our shuttle tankers. And each of those vessels, depending on the vessel type and size, is equivalent to about 4,000 to 10,000 Teslas improvement in energy efficiency. And we started investing in this even before the IMO 2030 and 2050 was announced, right? Way before. And whilst we were also looking at the IMO 2020 compliance, which is the sulfur compliance, we were already investing in the CO2 emission reduction by way of the fuel sources on our vessels. As a group, we have also this is led by good leadership of our boss in MIC, and as a group we have ventured into joint development project JDP in ammonia to look at solutions, not just for ourselves but also solutions for the industry for the 2050, because LNG, as we all know, is a transition fuel, and we need a combination or another solution for us to reach the 2050 agenda. And we have already commenced on this JDP as a group. Over and above that, in terms of other areas that we look at, social agendas, governance agendas, etc., marine life conservation programs, for coral reef and turtle conservation program. We have also, in this digital reset, all of us were thrust into the pandemic, needing to sustain our businesses, and investment in digitalization was not something that we did during the pandemic. It's something that we've already commenced early part of 2019 in digitization across HSC, maintenance management, and environmental management, which we are progressing across all our assets. As far as social is concerned, right, like I mentioned just now, unfortunately, this pandemic is going to broaden the social inequalities around the world. And fortunately, maritime industry is probably one industry which is the most sustainable financially and other areas, where it is an opportunity for us to do more, to not just, you know, philanthropy or CSR for one specific time, etc., but for us to do this more progressively by investing in the communities, areas that we operate in. And we have done that by and we do this year on by about 150 to 200 scholarships for maritime professionals. All right, and it's not just for our need, our fleet need. It is also, if we do this over and above our fleet need, and this is for the industry as well. This year, 2020, we have intensified further, where we provided more opportunities, internship opportunities globally as AET and as MISC, to do our part as much as possible, right, to bridge the divide of the social inequalities. Governance, I mentioned just now. All right, governance is beyond compliance. When people talk about governance, the first thing which comes to the mind is compliance, right? It's anti-bribery and corruption, right? But governance is actually beyond that. It's how do you create that ecosystem within your organization to make it fair, equitable, transparent in every bit of your business solutions, for us to be sustainable over a longer period, and it is not just compliance. So we've invested in terms of our time to be part of the MACN, invested in our time and effort, our team, where we've gone for the ISO certifications, the 37,000 series, and also this is compliance in terms of GDPR, PDPA, the various legislations globally, because we are moving beyond the maritime space in terms of the stakeholders, and we need to ensure that we create that ecosystem and at the same time also comply with the legislations globally. So this is how I see the HSC license to operate in our maritime industry to become the social license to operate. And this is the story that I would like to share in the short time available in terms of how we have done it. And we continue to progress in this area. The good thing about ESG is that it's accelerating at a pace which is fast and furious, right? And in my 36 years of experience in this industry, the one which comes to mind, which is as close as possible to how fast adoption of such a scheme or agenda has come in, is probably the unfortunate 9/11, which gave birth to the ISPS code. Post that, the unfortunate 9/11. And I see this, the global ecosystem is changing. Our clients, our stakeholders, the investing community, and as Nikolai mentioned just now, the shareholder and the stakeholder base is no more, for our industry, is no more on a B2B. It is fast becoming more a B2C, and everyone has got, especially with the multi-generational staff population that we have internally, plus also the younger generation who is more demanding in terms of their investment and purchasing options. This is something that we cannot ignore. This is actually an opportunity for all of us to do greater than the good that we've been doing all this while. Can I have the last slide, please? And I've got 1 minute to finish this if I'm going to keep to my 15 minutes. Our aspiration, all right, in order to enable and support our industry to be resilient and sustainability. What is required in maritime leadership? All right, existential flexibility. That means the ability to do what is required for the future with the presence of mind of the present, right? And this is where talent in the industry is required, an opportunity for us to infuse talent in our industry, diversity and inclusivity, right? Something that we can do much better in our industry. And in diversity, is not just gender diversity, okay? It's not gender diversity for the sake of complying to certain legislations. It's not gender diversity because certain legislation or code of corporate governances require us to do that. I've got more than 40% of my population in this organization, females, and and we didn't do this because we wanted them to be posters. It's meritocracy. You get appointed, you get promoted, you get into the role because you are able and capable of doing it. And we need to ensure that the talent that we hire in our industry has to be for the needs of today, the needs of tomorrow, sorry, but having the presence of mind of today. One trick pony is not gonna work for our industry. Functional and flexible leaders. Greater collaboration in our industry. I understand, Kevin. I need to.
Sure.
I'm
Go ahead.
overstaying my welcome.
Yep.
Greater collaboration, and in this greater collaboration, we can compete, but we can compete as peers, not compete as rivals, right? And there need to be more transparency and resiliency in our maritime industry. Even the WEF forum, which is ongoing now, is talking about how do you restore the trust post the pandemic era, right? And we are working along these lines in terms of how to improve our sustainability and ESG journey. Happy to share further. Just one point, I'm sure there's a lot of skeptics in terms of this ESG. Is this, the flavor of the month, the flavor of the year? But this is coming fast and furious, right? And this is actually an opportunity for all of us in the maritime industry to adopt so that our industry continues to be resilient, our industry continues to be sustainable, and our industry continues to attract talent for the right reason. Once again, thank you. And Kevin, over to you.
Thank you very much, Captain Raja, for such an impressive story and commitment indeed to our industry. A couple of questions came in. A very quick one, first of all, the Poseidon Principles, you're familiar with them, of course. Our question is whether the AET is doing any banking with the banks involved in the Poseidon Principles, and whether you welcome that initiative.
Thanks, Kevin. I'll take the second question first. Yes, we definitely welcome. And yes, the banks that our relationship and our partnership banks are those who are also into the Poseidon Principle. A very good initiative in the banking industry. My only ask is that stay true to the substance of the Poseidon Principle. The substance rather than the form. All right, we still need to see more substance of the Poseidon Principle being practiced by those who are supporting the banks, who are supporting the Poseidon Principle.
Okay, perfect. And a final question, and it's more like about your role as president and CEO. I mean, obviously you have a lot of responsibilities. You probably work 23 hours per day. The question is, I mean, how do you split your time between monitoring financial performance and how the company is chartering and all this kind of stuff, and all of the sustainability and ESG? And I mean, how do you balance all of those activities within your role as CEO and president?
Very simple answer to that, Kevin. Have a good team with you.
Mm-hmm.
Give the team the accountability, give the team the responsibility, and do the guidance rules. Otherwise, you're going to beat yourself to death. So the talent, again, I say the talent. All right, and get everyone emotionally engaged. with the organization and the business rather than being clinically engaged, right? So that's about all what I can say in this. How do we manage? My boss has a broader responsibility. I actually see myself as having a more boutique responsibility in the petroleum segment, but have a good team and empower the team and make the team engaged. Right, we've got a highly energized team, emotionally engaged with the agenda, and they will do well.
Excellent answer, Captain Raja. Thank you very much for presenting today, and all the best for the year ahead. Thank you.
Thanks, Kevin, and to everyone. Have a good forum. Stay safe, healthy, and connected. And hope to catch up personally sometime in the future. Take care.
Thank you.
Thanks
Bye.
again.
Bye. Thank you.